95% of the decisions that you make in life are not conscious. In 1983, Benjamin Levitt that up to about 7 to 10 seconds in some experiments, he was able to realize that before a person made a decision consciously, the brain's neural activity had already made the decision. If you go and meet someone who is well informed, they can tell you the city you're most likely to live in, the person you're going to marry, to the year, and probably how you're going to die. We run our lives based on programs that have been programmed into our minds, and we never ever dare question those things. If you're not consciously paying attention to the music, the places, the food, the people, the information, if you're not questioning it, anything can come into your mind, anything can come into your life. How do we awaken the consciousness? How do we make sure your awareness is present? That's it. If you're a true seeker and you want to uncover the depths and power of your mind, pay attention for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Be present. 95% of the decisions you're making in life, and this is extremely scary, 95% of the decisions that you make in life are not conscious, and they are made before you're even conscious of them. In 1983, a man by the name of Benjamin Levitt in California, by hooking up an EEG machine to people's brains and bodies, he was able to discover that up to about 7 to 10 seconds in some experiments, he was able to realize that before a person made a decision consciously, the brain's neural activity had already made the decision. Interpretation, there was a brain shower, brainstorm, and up to 7 or 10 seconds later, the person then consciously goes, I want to choose this or I want to do that. What this means is that in the background somewhere, the brain had made the choice, the decision, and it only alerted the person consciously to say, this is what you're going for. Now that is scary, because if you go and meet someone who is well informed, they can tell you the city you're most likely to live in, the person you're going to marry, the types of vehicles you're going to drive, the home you will live in, the kind of job you'll do, even down pinpointed to the year and probably how you're going to die. The reason why this is scary, before that, a young man, good-looking young man in his 20s, making money, suddenly passed away in America. So upon dying, let me bring this closer. Upon passing away, the young man wakes up in a big hall where everything was golden and there was light. He looks around. This is a nice place. And he says, I must be in heaven. He then looks around and sees a gentleman stood by what looked like some gates. He says, I must be at the pearly gates. He walks there and engages the gentleman in conversation. I'm here to see Jesus. I want to see God. The gentleman, minding his business, being interrupted, casually looked at him and said, and what makes you think Jesus and God are here? The young man says, well, I'm in heaven. Jesus and God are in heaven. So I'm here to see Jesus. I'm here to see God. The gentleman says, and what makes you think you are in heaven? To which the young man says, well, pearly gates, light, this must be heaven. It looks like heaven. The man then interrupts him and says, well, you are mistaken. Jesus, God, and heaven are where you're coming from. If you really want to find them, go back. And then the young man wakes up. Assumptions. You see, in life, a lot of the things that we base our decisions upon are all assumptions. We hear if you are in a place with pearly gates, with lights, that's heaven. What if it's not the case? We run our lives based on programs that have been programmed into our minds, and we never ever dare question those things. Now, up to 95% of the mind, according to Bruce Lipton, and you have different neuroscientists, different scientists, different people who academically have looked into this, up to 95% of the human mind is the subconscious or the unconscious mind. Only 5%, roughly, give or take, is your conscious mind. Now, look at it this way. Before we even go deeper, why is it the case? You see, in human evolution, it is too tasking for the human brain to do everything consciously. Imagine right now you had to keep your heart beating, you had to keep your lungs breathing, you had to consciously think about positioning your body, you had to consciously think about speaking, about hearing, about eating, about tasting, smelling. It's too much. So the human brain has developed itself in a way, evolutionary, whereby the majority of the things that you are going to do, that you're going to handle in your life, the majority of things are done subconsciously. They're being handled automatically. Only a little bit is done consciously. And also because metabolically, it's very tasking to think. A lot of the oxygen in your body, and I think about 20% of the calories, metabolically go to your brain. So thinking is quite demanding energetically. So the brain puts loads of things to the subconscious mind. Now the problem is, if the things in the subconscious or the unconscious mind are not serving you, if they are not even you, then you run the risk of living your life completely. The decisions you make, what to study, who to marry, your entire life could be based off opinions, decisions, things that are not even you. Going deeper into the subconscious and conscious mind before we even look at how to gain control of your mind and yourself. Going deeper. You see, what is the subconscious mind? And what is the conscious mind? And how powerful are they? There was a king, and this king owned a very great factory. His palace. And this factory was in charge of creating goods, making processes, making things, and shipping them out all far wide to all the regions and making a lot of money. And in front of the factory, or the palace, was a guard at a gate. Now, the duty of this guard was to protect and also to keep track of what comes in and what goes out. Keep intruders out and keep all the goods in. And only authorized or relevant people could come in and go out. Now, for a number of years, everything went well in this factory. Then one day, the king says, I'm going to go away for a couple of months. The king goes away. Then the guard goes, all these years I've been stood at my post. Well, the king is not here. I've heard that there are peaceful, beautiful streets, gardens, places all around. Let me go on a wander. So bit by bit every day, the guard left his post and would go on a wander. Now, it wouldn't be surprising to find out that one day the king returned. And let's just say the palace was in disarray. Intruders had broken into the factory, the palace in this case, They'd stolen the goods. The staff with the remaining goods were not operating or functioning properly. Anything came in and anything went out because the guard had left his duty or post. How does this relate to the conscious and subconscious mind? You see, in this scenario, the conscious mind is the guard. Your conscious mind, the duty, 5% of the time is to stand, and it doesn't need to run all the process in the background, no. It just needs to focus and pay attention to who's coming in and who's going out. Ah, yes, you're an authorized driver, go in. Oh no, you're not an authorized driver, don't come in, you're an intruder. And when this happens, the palace, the factory, your life functions smoothly. But when the guard is not there, anything can come and go in your life. Anything can come into your mind. Anything can come into your life. If you're not consciously paying attention to the music, the places, the food, the people, the information, if you're not questioning it, it sinks deep into your factory, into your palace, and turns your kingdom upside down. Now, why did the palace go into disarray? Because the king was not available. And this is something I want to let you know. Somewhere behind your mind is you. You're not your body. You are not your mind. You are consciousness, the king. When you awaken with your awareness, with your consciousness, and you pay attention and you're seated with your awareness on the throne, in the palace, in the factory, the conscious mind functions properly. And only the things you need go into your subconscious mind. And that's what we want to talk about today on a deeper level. How do we awaken the consciousness? How do we make sure your awareness is present? That's it. That's the solution. How do we do that? Let's look at this further. If you are going to ensure that your life is being lived according to the way that you want it to, if you are going to ensure that the dreams, the goals, the things you want are yours, if you're going to be able to move consciously in the world and win, you have to engage your conscious mind. You have to ensure what goes into your subconscious is right, and your awareness has to be there. There are two ways I want to teach you today to bring and awaken your awareness and consciousness. Number one, it only takes 15 minutes a day. When you wake up or before you go to bed, meditate. Now, when you hear the words meditate, you think, silence in my mind, being quiet. I will tell you, even Jesus meditated. Is it not written that he went away at night and prayed and fasted? Prayer and fasting is nothing but meditation. That's it. And when you think of meditation going forward, I want you to think of this word: power. You see, when you can quiet your mind for 15 minutes, watching your breath, observing your thoughts, and just being present, allowing the king, the ruler, to just be present, not trying to steal your mind. Just breathe in. You will find naturally your mind will be all over the place, and after a while, it will go still just for a few seconds, and it will carry on again. The more you do this, and 15 minutes is all you need, you will clearly begin to see your body on one side, your mind on the other side, or the monkey brain. Just go. But somewhere in the middle, you will start to notice the real you, the observer within, the awareness, the pure consciousness. And when you become more aware of your mind thinking and taken away, and your body breathing automatically, you awaken that conscious part of you. You start to stand guard at the gate. 15 minutes. That's all it takes. Another important thing you can do is 1 hour, once every hour during your working day or whilst you're awake. Acts like a pinch. Just say to yourself, ask yourself this question. Who is thinking and deciding right now? And am I present? That's it. Who is thinking and deciding right now? And am I present? What this will do to you is simple. In fact, before that, let me tell you a story. You like stories. There was a scientist in Boston, a new young scientist, usually just recently graduated. When you recently graduate, you're eager for life. So this scientist went to the lab. They were showing the scientist everything in the lab. This is what you do, this is what you don't do. So finally, they told the scientist, this is a sanitized, safe area. All windows, doors, everything must be shut. It must be clean. So 2 weeks into the scientist's tenure of being at the job, everyone left early, and the scientist was alone, passionate about something he had to do, so carried on. This is a sanitized area. Everything must be clean and closed. So the scientist noticed a little latch next to the door that was open, but above it said, sanitized opening. So the scientist thought, this is a sanitized area, it must be shut. So it went further and shut it. Now, a couple of hours went by, and the scientist started feeling dizzy and a little bit lightheaded. So he thought, it's already 5, 6-ish, go home. The next day, he came into the lab, and his colleague came running. Why is that vent closed? The scientist went, this is a sanitized area, it must be closed. And the colleague went, you fool. Yes, it's a sanitized area, but that's a sanitized vent, and you need the air to come in to breathe. You see, this is how life works. Just that gap was needed in the lab for the scientist or the scientists to breathe and be alive. They can close everything else, but they need a little gap for life. The same thing with you. When you ask yourself once every hour, who is thinking, who is deciding, am I present? You create a little gap in your life, in your day, for your awareness to allow you breathe, for your life to function. You pinch yourself, you catch yourself, and it makes you think and come alive and go, why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? It stops the automatic loop, which we fall so readily into every day. So these two things. Now, there are other things you can do, but don't bore yourself. But the important thing you need to take away from this is the power to change your life and live your life is in you. The kingdom of heaven is within. It has always been in you. But your mind is programmable. 95% of your mind runs from the subconscious, meaning 95% of the decisions you make, they're not yours, they're made by your brain already. and just offered to you. And also, you're programmed as a kid. Between the ages of 0 to 7, you're in a very, very open, subconscious, open mind state where you're prone to suggestions. So the way you break this is simple. Build your awareness, and you will find the following benefits. 1, you'll become more courageous. Yes. 2, you'll become more happy because the things you're meant to do for yourself, you will identify them. 3, your life will become more fulfilling. 4, limiting beliefs and things that hold you back, people that hold you back, you'll drop them. And 5, you will fly off. Now, there is a warning I must give you. If you are not a seeker, if you don't want to grow, this is scary business. And the reason it's scary business is because if you're comfortable being asleep and letting your life run on autopilot, this will waken you up and shake your life crazily. And you might not be ready. You might not be, and if that's the case, it's fine. Leave it until you're ready. But if you're ready, you can change your life. You just need that gap.